Welcome to the Bums Corner Coast to Coast podcast. The views and opinions expressed in this show are those of the hosts and are not those of Bums Corner Media Enterprises. This program contains strong language. Listener discretion is advised. Listen at your own risk. God, I hate this gig.
Sail, and it looks like it's happening. So, hey, good evening, everybody. Hi. This is the 47th running of the Bums Corner Coast to Coast. We are on a brand new platform, so we're going to be beta testing as we go. But tonight's an even more special night besides our little internet connection because Fran Rayburn is here with us.
Yeah,
she's the best, and she volunteered to come on her own accord.
We didn't force her, twist her arm, nothing. Yeah. There was no bribery, just an invite.
I better be here rather than have you guys talk about me not being here.
No, we would never do that. Did we? Okay. No. We would never do that.
No, not more than 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. I always felt bad because you never got your own gig. You sort of had to sit and listen to Rockwell and Tansky ramble on for that like Christmas episode a couple of years ago.
All good. Happy to be here.
Awesome. We are very happy to have you. And it's because I wasn't paying attention. Were you the one that actually picked out the articles for this month?
I did. Yes.
Nice.
Lovely.
He's been on the list for a while, so I'm glad that you picked some good ones.
Your second choice I've been eyeballing for a long time because that's one of the subreddits I follow is called Kids Are Fucking Stupid. And about once a month, it's a picture of a kid that did exactly what your article is about. It's climbing into a crane game.
The reason I like that is because it reminds me of exactly something that my son would do.
Nice.
Like, this sounds really familiar. Like, it hasn't happened yet, but I wouldn't put it past him.
Right? So for the 1 or 2 people that are going to listen to this, what have you been up to?
Yeah.
Talk to us. What you been doing?
Graduated high school with you guys, came down to Cincinnati, attended Xavier University, and stayed in Cincinnati ever since. So I'm teaching with Cincinnati Public Schools. And before that, I was in I taught at a Catholic school that reminded me a lot of our school. And I was only 10 years older than my first batch of students. And so my youngest child is 14, and my students, like that first class that I had, they have 14-year-olds. And so we run into each other at swimming lessons and Girl Scout camps. And I just did I teach you or did we graduate together? Like I can't quite remember, but no, it's good, and I enjoy teaching, and 3 wonderful kids, and a loving husband, and a lovely house, and great life.
That's amazing.
That's fantastic.
What are you teaching now?
Teaching 8th grade English. So that's like middle schoolers are like. Okay, so middle schoolers are a whole nother species of I don't know that they're human, a whole nother species of creatures. But then I also get to balance that out with some AP English. So I've got some 11th and 12th graders that are, dedicated to, higher thinking skills and being super successful in high school. So that's a nice balance.
That's good. Balance is good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think it. So it sounds like you came out okay. You did all right then.
Yeah, relatively unscathed.
So far, so good.
Right?
Yeah.
We don't see you on the crime blotter, so everything must be going okay.
I got a decent benefits package, and
Yeah, how about that?
I'm doing all right.
So since you flipped from the Catholic to the public school system, you'll probably be working as long as I am until you're able to retire, right?
Oh, yeah. So my colleagues, like, I'll be working until 2036, I believe. So, like, Tansky was on the podcast 3 years ago, proclaiming his retirement, and I was like, what the hell? How is that chronologically possible?
Right.
And then I was like, oh, right. I did all those years in private school before I got into the system. So I'll be teaching into 2036, but that's okay. Cause I kind of feel like I haven't quite perfected my craft yet.
Okay.
So that still gives me some time to, get it all the way right before I sail off.
Yeah, I'm 2037, so I'm right there with you. I feel your pain. You're about out, Tom, aren't you?
About 5 years.
Oh, that's amazing. No.
Yeah, so 2028, 2029. That's just with the federal system.
Yeah.
And
hey, I saw we have a budget for the next couple of months, so that's a positive, right?
Yes and no.
They kick the can down the street for a couple of blocks.
Yeah. We still can't really do any new business. We can just continue to do what we've been doing.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So you can't make any commitments until you see the long-term plan.
Right. No commitments, no improvements, no progress, evolution. Just, yeah.
I kind of wish our elected officials were aware that their inactivity affected people that voted for them.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that there's no system that allows us to communicate. Wait, we could just not vote for them. Holy fuck. I wonder if anybody's thought of this before.
That's revolutionary. You're gonna end up on a list of candidates.
Right.
Oh, and Fran, in your honor, and by the fact that it was the only thing I had in the fridge, I went with one of your locals. So I'm having a Rheingeist tonight.
I love Rheingeist. Thank you. Excellent brewery.
Is it made with real Ohio River water?
Yum, yum, yum. That's where I get all my vitamins and minerals.
Why am I chewing?
Extra sludge.
There's 0.1 catfish in every can.
Ooh.
I love it whenever I'm at
it's working.
Education seminar or something, and somebody from out of town comes and they're trying to speak to Cincinnatians, and they say, "Oh, do people go swimming in the river?" And I'm like, "Clearly, you're from out of town, because nobody
that's gross.
Steps foot in that river,
not on purpose.
Not on purpose. Nobody alive is in that river."
No.
Oh, that's so disgusting.
But hey, Fran, real quick, I wanted to just thank you again for carting us around during the driving us home from the reunion.
Oh, yeah.
Like hanging out and just, well past your bedtime. I apologize for that.
Aww.
But I really do. I just want to thank you again. That was awesome. Did not have
I miss you guys. Like, it was easy for me. I just had to drive up 71. You and Rick, you flew in from the corners of the globe, but it's a sphere, so it doesn't have corners. You flew in from the round parts of the globe to, reunite. And I wanted to savor every minute.
No, I'm so glad you hung out. That was really one of the highlights, was just that sort of after party, just hanging out with you and Rick, and it was really cool. So I appreciate it. Thanks.
Aw, thanks.
That's
I enjoyed it too.
Good. Hey, speaking of which, Tom, did you and or Rick leave money in my little middle console in my car? And please say yes, because if I'm in the habit of scrolling away, okay, thank God. I thought it was me, and that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, I threw a water 20 when you were pumping gas.
Okay. Phew. I thought so, but then part of my brain is like, what if you did this? And so I started like triple locking the door at night, wondering like, well, does Sleepy Time Mike go out and do other shit besides pay himself? So
That could be scary.
right? Now you see.
Okay. I asked the guy at the gas station, hey, you got a Post-it note? He's like, no. So I was like, hey, thanks, Mike, and throw it in there. Like I didn't have a chance. And you were just coming around to the other side to get back in the car. I'm like, oh, let's do it in.
You can actually write on the currency, and it's still legal tender.
Yeah, I didn't have a pen.
Oh, so it wasn't just the Post-it note.
Well, that was my next question to the guy at the gas station attendant was, do you have a Post-it note? Do you have a pen? Do you have a paperclip?
And an envelope.
In an envelope.
A4, please.
Stamp.
Not that number 10 bullshit.
Right?
With a mint-enhanced
right.
adhesive.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ. Okay. Thank you. But I appreciate it. But B, thank you for admitting to it and saving me from myself. Because like a day went by, I'm like, where did Night Mike get cash? I don't even remember hitting an ATM. So
And I'm impressed that you question it. Like I'll put on a coat at the beginning of cold season and I'll put my hands in the pockets and there's money in there. And I never question, like, was this mine? Where did it come from? Did somebody borrow my coat and leave, I mean, my kids, like not like random people borrowing my kids. But like, I never found money. I'm impressed with your ethics
when I drank hard liquor, I would black out. So my first fear was, shit, it's happening again. So like when you put on a coat and there's a bunch of receipts in it from places you've never been before, and the coat doesn't fit. You're like, huh.
Whiskey Mike is back.
That guy's an asshole.
Son of a bitch. Now I get a restraining order against myself.
Or in the case of my son, he winds up losing coats that I've purchased for him, but then he'll bet people their outerwear on the stupidest shit, and he'll come home and I'm like, where'd you get that coat? And he's like, oh, I bet some kid I could like run around the block 4 times in a minute, and I did it. So he gave me his coat and everything in the pockets. So
wow,
that could be another,
that's
why you have
that's pretty ingenious.
It is. So fast kids and kids that can fit their own fist into their mouth get whatever they want in the world. Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah, they've got that entrepreneurial spirit,
right?
That's
obviously he doesn't have a Sister Margaret in his life where you can just go, Sister, I lost my coat. It was either black or brown and may have had buttons or zippers. Have you seen it? And she would pull out her big box and go, oh, that's it. It's the one that says Tom on the tag. That's mine.
But you have to say the prayer to St. Anthony first.
Oh, yeah. St. Anthony, please come round. Something's lost and must be found. And bling, free coat.
You know what's funny?
And calculators and, glasses cases, whatever you needed.
Protractor, the compass.
If we had AirPods at the time, that lost and found would be full of
Walkman headphones.
Yep. That would have been amazing.
You know, it's funny you mentioned Sister Margaret. It reminded me that how often, randomly, at least once a week, I will think of Sister Margaret.
Oh,
I brought her up to my students like the other day. All the time I think of Sister Margaret.
It's wild.
It's adorable.
Yeah. The thing that sticks with me, and it's a blessing and a curse, is she always used to say, he who sees the problem has been anointed to fix it.
Oh,
wow.
That is a curse.
That's a curse because it's stuck.
Yeah.
And I've become that guy. It's become like a bad habit to be that guy.
Right.
But yeah, it's but it is kind of cool because she's not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
She's not. And if you can,
is she still alive? Does anybody know?
Yeah.
for certain? Either
I
way,
wanna
do you know
s-
she's
I
still
wanna
alive?
s- I want to say she passed a while ago,
Okay.
but I'm not 100%. I don't. I'm total.
We should dedicate this episode to Sister Margaret.
Yeah, what if we're wrong? Then she would grade it.
We can
And that's
dedicate
okay. She was
it
very
to her even
fair.
if she's still alive.
She was very fair to you guys. I had her for AP, and she was a little tight. I do remember though, every time there was a party at your house, Tom, there was always a line to the kitchen phone of people calling Sister Margaret asking for an extension because they didn't feel good that night. So she must have just sat by the phone and picked up
How
like
do people
10
have her
calls.
phone number?
We all had
She
her
gave
phone
it-
number.
She
She
gave it
always
out.
said, if you don't feel good and you need an extension for any reason, you call me.
Mhm.
And they would. There would be a line in Tom's kitchen of people calling Sister Margaret.
That's
That's funny.
crazy.
You know, the same song playing in every call. And it's like,
I was just
Sister,
gonna
I don't
say
feel
that.
so good.
I was just gonna say that. Like, wow, the same song is playing at
That's
Tom's
right.
house. That is playing at Mike's house. It's playing at Rick's house.
Sister
It's
Margaret,
playing at Steve's
please
house.
hold for Tom.
Right.
His sister was like, "Hey, hang on a second."
Yep.
Yeah.
Our parents have quarantined us for chicken pox. So I'm going to pass you over to Rick now.
Yeah. Oh. See, that's one we never did. We should have.
The chickenpox parties?
Yeah. Should have.
We were too old.
Yeah.
Right?
I had
Yeah.
chickenpox like when I was 3, I think.
Dude, I got chicken pox the summer between 8th and 9th grade.
Oh.
That sucks.
Yeah. Ouch.
When all your friends were making their journey into manhood, you were stuck at home.
Yeah, in an ice bath with my, with socks on my hands so I wouldn't scratch.
That's beautiful. I love it. I never had it. My parents sent my brother and I over to the neighbor's house when they had chicken pox, and we sat there and watched Star Wars with them and didn't catch it.
Seriously.
Didn't take.
Yeah, so I'm still waiting.
The
They
Force
didn't have
was
you
with
guys share a lollipop?
Oh God.
No.
I've heard
Is that a thing?
that's how the chicken pox, but like somebody gets the chicken pox and then that mom has their kid like eat a dozen lollipops and then they pass them on to others so that they can just get the chicken pox and get it over with.
Wow. That's how they roll in Southern Ohio.
No, I heard this was a California thing, actually.
Oh, that tracks. That tracks.
That track, yeah.
That doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Staggeringly Californian.
Yeah. Okay, so and here we are. So hey,
Indeed.
speaking of lizards.
Yes, lizards.
Speaking of segues, Fran picked out the nuggets of discussion points that we have tonight. And she did a bang-up job, too. She grabbed one that I've been eyeballing forever. And her first choice, I had no idea what to do with. So I'm glad somebody else grabbed it so we can make some talking points out of it. But since it was your pick, do you want to read the story?
I don't have it in front of me.
Okay. Tom, do you want to DJ voice this one? Do you have it?
Yeah. But Fran
I always like listening to Tom read the news.
Fran has to read the other one. Or actually, either you, I don't care. The other one's great. But this one's not bad either. All right, buckle up, kids. Here we go. Are you sitting quietly? Let's begin. Jesus Christ. No, not that one. It's apparently invading Florida. Florida is bracing for another invasion, this time from a lizard that moves like Jesus Christ. KTSU reports the brown basilisk is known as the Jesus Christ lizard, earned its moniker because it can run on water. It's native to South America, but has been popping up in the Sunshine State, which is concerning to environmentalists. The theory is people purchased the lizards as pets and released them, or they escaped into the wild. Ken Goeli The University of Florida Institute of Food and Agricultural Science warned of a possible human health impact because the lizards can host certain mosquito-borne disease. In addition, they could disrupt the ecosystem by chowing down on native butterflies and other lizards. To ward off a potential lizard invasion, Golelele is urging residents to take photos if they spot a basilisk and share it to the I've Got One app. The picture will share the potential location of the lizard and help biologists get an idea of where they're migrating and whether future action will be required. Dun, dun, dun.
So, what drew you
Well read.
to this article?
So I liked this particular article because it reminded me so much of the invasive lizard species we have here in Cincinnati, which is the Lazarus lizard. And I thought, and didn't Jesus raise Lazarus from the dead?
Ooh,
so
yes.
like there's this biblical connection, there's this lizard connection. It's like
we should
a
get these two to
parallel
fight.
situation.
Wow. Okay.
Can we get them in a cage match? That would be awesome.
Well, and okay, so if you get the Jesus lizard and the Lazarus lizard together, what happened? Like, if the Lazarus lizard were to die, could the Jesus lizard like resurrect the Lazarus
kick his
lizard
ass all over again? Absolutely.
And if the Lazarus lizard kills the Jesus lizard, do we have to wait 3 days?
You do,
yeah, right.
For it to come
and
back.
then where are the Martha and Mary lizards? Right, because we're
weeping by the boulder.
Right, with the other Mary lizard and the other Mary lizard.
The weeping lizards.
Right.
Weeping lizards.
From the play Annie, right?
Oh my God.
That was a slow release joke there, so I'm glad it landed. So one of the reasons I never did pick this article.
I've been doing some research like on the Lazarus lizards because the Jesus lizards reminded me of the Lazarus lizards.
What's the deal with the Lazarus lizard?
So, the Lazarus lizards were brought here by the stepson of the Lazarus department store family.
Yeah.
So that's why they're called the Lazarus lizards. Although the guy who brought them was Lazarus's stepson, and his name was not Lazarus, but the Rao lizards just doesn't have the same, as Lazarus lizards. But they were brought from like Italy, Greece. Like the guy was on vacation and he liked the lizards on vacation, and so he put them in his socks and brought them back to Cincinnati in his socks, and then let them out in his backyard, and they have taken over the city of Cincinnati. And I remember when my kids were in elementary school, so maybe like 6 years ago, they had made their way to one side of our neighborhood, and since then they have made their way across to our side of the neighborhood, and we now have lizards all over our yards.
Are they destructive or just annoying?
They're adorable. They're like this big, and they're adorable. I love them. I was jealous that the other side of the neighborhood had the lizards and we didn't. I was like,
honey, we gotta move.
And even I was tempted to go like across the neighborhood and catch some and bring them over, and then like people told me I was stupid because they were invasive and you don't invite invasive species over. But they eventually made their way, and they like the rocky areas. So like the cracks in the front porch steps, like they're always like running in and out of the cracks in the front porch steps. The cat loves them. The cat chases them constantly, and every once in a while, like the cat will have a tail in its mouth because it caught a lizard, but the lizard also got away because they do that. I think they're just darling though. But I did not know until reading this article about the potential for the disease-borne
Yeah, the
Mosquitoes.
mosquito horde. Yeah.
It's
They
kind of
could.
messed up. Yeah.
Yeah.
What terrified me about this is basilisks are scary looking animals.
True.
And if I were out on a canoe and saw one on the beach, I would taunt it, saying like, fuck you, you cannot get me. And if that thing started shooting across the water at me, I would never stop screaming.
Yeah.
That's the stuff of nightmares right there.
Well, I'm curious as to how big the Jesus Christ lizards get. Because I know the Lazarus lizards are small and cute.
Mm-hmm.
But if the
Brown.
Jesus Christ lizards are big and
Well,
scary.
they eat other lizards, so I'd say they're at least 2 Lazaruses long.
I'd say, yeah. Yeah.
And that was the other thing that bothered me that scared me about this article is they eat fucking butterflies. I mean, what kind of monster eats butterflies?
Right.
Like the prettiest of the animals.
It's like something that preys on
this thing-
hummingbirds. It's like, who does that?
I mean, that's just lazy. I mean, you can catch anything if you can run on water, but you go after this slow-moving, colorful animal that it only lives for 72 hours, man. Cut him a break.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was always fascinated by this article, but I never picked it just because it's scary as hell. But I'm glad you have that connection to your home, though.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm curious what how the Pope feels about this, the title of the lizards. I mean, is it an honorific or is it disrespectful or?
I would think Pope Francis would be cool with it. The other ones probably not so much.
Okay.
Right. And there is absolutely no pun intended here, but right now he's got bigger fish to fry.
Indeed.
Friday.
His plate's a little full.
True that.
Lizards are not
he has
priority one right now.
What is it? A large pedophile infestation in his ecosystem.
What?
Eating all the butterflies.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's that.
When given the options of all the articles to choose from, it was interesting how so many of them were set in Florida.
When I
a
pull the articles,
a lot of the stupid people articles were set in Florida, but even this completely nature article was also set in Florida.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's I don't pull these based on that. I try not to filter. It's just like the ones that catch my eye, the ones that I think are good. And it's weird. It happens to be Florida, and I don't know if it's just because over the last several years, the whole Florida man. If there's the eyes of the people that curate these sort of stories are they're all looking at Florida. But from where I pull these from, it does appear to lean a lot of weird stuff going on in Florida.
Yeah. But like you said, it's chicken or egg. Is the data skewed towards Florida because that's where people look for the issues, or are they the epicenter of the weird?
It's they know they're going to find they're going to pan that river because that's where the nuggets are.
We need a weird story. What's going on in Florida?
Yeah.
So if I were a news truffle pig, I would just kind of hang out in the South and wait.
Oink, oink.
News truffle pig. I like that.
Yeah, that's episode 2. I think I called Tom a truffle pig for weird articles because he would just take off in the field and come back with all these beautiful gems for us.
I have a basket of lovely things.
Saute them up with a little Parmesan and butter, and
we do. Yeah,
nice.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm. So should we go on to the claw machine? because
Yeah.
I
Oh
love
my God.
these things. Yeah.
So I think the movie Toy Story, like,
Yeah.
really brought the toy machine the claw machine, like,
Next
into
level.
the spotlight.
Yeah. The claw.
Yeah, I never thought of that. But yeah, you've got a point.
Because
I don't, and again, I have no idea. I cannot speak to the popularity of claw machines over the past 4 decades by any means. I am not an expert, but
I will say that I think historically, prior to Toy Story, the claw machine was just sort of put off in the corner, or it was by the door, or it was just kind of out of the way.
Right.
It wasn't Miss Pac-Man. After Toy Story, it was like you'd see them like a line of them.
Yeah.
Like they would like banks of claw machines, like 8 or
Right.
10 in a row or a clump.
That's an interesting point you bring up. I wish we had a fact checker that was reliable that could look this up for us, Fran, that you brought that up. So thank you.
Sure.
Peggy.
Why is it that every... Okay. I thought you were trying to recruit Fran. Why is it that every guest tries to get roped into being a fact checker?
You're your own researcher. Don't come on the show.
You get what you pay for.
Right?
Do you want to go ahead? Did you pull this up? Do you want to go ahead and read it, or do you want me to knock this out real quick? It's short and there aren't any big words.
I can.
Good, do it.
Okay.
Do it.
I don't know about you, but the last time I played a claw machine, I never thought about crawling inside it. Unfortunately, a 13-year-old boy in North Carolina had a different idea and decided to take his chances. Spoiler alert, it didn't end well. After stealing a prize, the young troublemaker found himself stuck inside the machine like a clawed-up toy, according to USA Today. Thankfully, a medical team arrived to save the day and unlocked the machine, freeing the boy from his prison. After spending several long minutes inside, the child was treated for unspecified injuries and released. While his curiosity may have gotten the best of him, the boy will have to find another place to play games. He's been banned from the park for a whole year for his attempted theft.
1 year. 1 year ban.
1 year.
Yes. And so that tells me one thing about this kid. He's white.
Right?
Yes.
1 year ban.
Yes, that's a little white kid.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he probably got to keep whatever it is he went in after in the first place. Oh, don't forget your toy. Don't forget your toy.
Oh
yeah.
No, I love this. And again, on the subreddit, kids are fucking stupid. There, once a month, there's a picture of some kid like on the inside with his face up against the glass because the hole it's big enough for them to get in, but they just can't get back out again. So I can't fault the kids. I mean, it's bright, it's colorful, there's lights, and who among us has not gotten their arm stuck in a vending machine before?
And that's exactly
close,
what I hear my son saying as I imagine him stuck inside a claw machine. But Mom, if they didn't want us to go in after the toy, they wouldn't have made it so easy to do.
Yeah.
Like, clearly.
Right.
Clearly the expectation is you go in after your own toy because it's so easy.
Yeah. It's like the little assist.
Right.
After 4 quarters, you're allowed to stick your body in there and see what you can come up with.
Right.
Right.
Nothing in there is worth more than $1. So yeah, shimmy on in.
Absolutely,
Junior.
Yeah, but I remember like leaving the grocery store. We had a claw machine at their grocery store for a while.
Okay.
We no longer do, but it was like the gumball machine, the claw machine, and then the mechanical rocking horse.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And like the mechanical rocking horse was a penny, and the gumball machine was a quarter. And I'm like, kids, bang for your buck. I think the rocking horse is like a better deal.
Rock the horse.
But then the claw machine, I think, was like $1.50. And I
Right.
never had 6 quarters with me. So that claw machine was like this, like the kids never got to go for the claw machine. They got lots of horse rides. They never got a chance for the claw machine.
Well,
So
who walks around with
because I knew
6
this
quarters?
article,
Right?
That's ridiculous.
exactly. Since I knew this was in the queue, I checked today while I was at Myers, and the pony's still a penny to this day.
Right.
Inflation has
Brilliant.
not touched that monster.
The pony
Yes.
will forever be a penny.
Yeah.
It should be.
So at the Myers near you, is the pony named Sandy?
I did not stop to talk to it.
Because at our Myers, the pony is named Sandy.
How do you know this?
There's a sign.
Oh, I don't know. I was curious. I could, every time I'm in there, I hear it, right? Like somebody's.
Does it play,
Oh, yeah,
does
yeah.
it play the William Tell Overture?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
So, as I was in line today, thinking of trying to come up with something witty to talk about, water walking lizards, I heard that. I'm like, I wonder if that's still a penny. Like the way it was at Myers when, Tom and Dominic and everybody worked there, and they had the little penny
You
pony,
guys all worked at Myers.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It made it so easy for me. I could just one-stop shopping. I could go in. I could see you all.
Right?
Like on
Yeah.
a Sunday afternoon,
Yeah.
we're all right there.
Yeah, like 98% of the friend group worked at Meyer.
Yep.
Right?
So who started that? Who was the first one to get a job there?
God, that's a good question. I don't know. I kind of want to say Luke.
Okay. Because Luke and Terry both worked there at a time, right?
Yeah.
And then Dominic, you and
me,
Tom, and Casey.
Banks, Casey,
Nico
George.
worked in the video
George was there.
department. Yeah.
Nico. Like Kara worked there for a minute.
Kara worked, yeah. Oh, she worked there when I lived on her couch. Because I woke up one morning and she and some scraggly looking little dude were in the living room in their little smocks from the overnight shift. And she's like, this is something stupid. And we're engaged. I'm like, okay. I'll be at Al's house trying to find some place to live. This will not end well.
Wow.
No, and it did not.
They never do. But you're right, Fran, that like any time of day you could roll in there and somebody was in that little cafeteria.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chain smoking. And you could hang out for hours on end while they were supposed to be working.
Yeah.
So Meijer is my regular grocery store here in Cincinnati. I was there today, and I always think of you guys when I go in there.
Yeah.
Like I do.
That was
It's
a wild
lovely.
job.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool. The thing that made it cool was, because we all, like a bunch of us all worked there. So it wasn't
Right.
you goof off and still,
Hang out and get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Some of the
Yes,
best
it was a
bank
brilliant
stories.
system.
Some of the best bank stories from Meyer. One of these days, we'll get him on and we'll reminisce. But holy shit, some of the stuff he
we
did.
tossed that idea around so many times of having Tom on here. It's a coin toss, man. You'll either get the fun, charismatic Tom, or you'll get the weird Tom.
Oh.
And that's the risk,
Yeah. Personally, I'll take either, but I understand for mass consumption, it's
right.
It's a coin toss.
Fun stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice you did have a picture on that third article.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't even going to go there
awesome.
because I thought the first two were pretty good, but that was just sort of the
absolutely.
safety net.
I like scrolling. I like touching things while we're talking to keep my hands occupied, so I'm not sitting here typing and making a lot of noise. So, but yeah, that's awesome.
Do you want to go with the third one? Because I've closed all my windows. It's easily true. Yeah, see, you guys, I can't hear you.
Does Mike know he's muted?
I don't think Mike knows he's muted.
I don't think Mike knows he's muted.
Mike,
if I'd known I was muted, I wouldn't be reading this whole time, you jackholes.
Well,
Mouth is moving.
I didn't know you were reading. Because I closed the thing so that I could open the page and look at and read it myself. If you wanted me to.
So what were you doing that whole time? I wasn't paying attention. Okay. Drug dealer calls cops over $10. May I?
Do it. Please. Go ahead. Don't fuck it up.
Drug dealer calls cops over $10 theft. Lands behind bars. A Florida man found himself in a sticky situation when he dialed the police to report a theft related to his illegal marijuana sales operation. According to the Smoking Gun, authorities, Eric Thomas, 33, had 11 baggies of marijuana in hand as he complained that someone had stolen $10 from him during a drug deal. However, this call led to his own undoing, as Officer Ricardo Morales discovered he was holding over 40 grams of marijuana. Thomas also made spontaneous admissions about the robbery, sealing his fate. Subsequently, during a search, law enforcement found 2 baggies of cocaine in his wallet. This incident marked Thomas with a pair of drug deal-related felonies. Currently held on a $7,000 bond, Thomas has a history of convictions involving marijuana, cocaine, and battery, with a pending case for possessing 7 baggies of marijuana at a courthouse security checkpoint. Ba-dum-bum.
Idiot.
Yeah.
So this is our bread and butter, like guys like this, that just are so incredibly stupid. And yes, I mean, what I wonder is, and I ponder on this a lot, is what is life like when you're that dumb? I mean, are you just incredibly happy all the time because you have no worries in the world?
I think it's a little bit of both. I'm going to jump in because it's I hear about this a lot from people that I work with. I don't hear about, I observe it from people that I work around and people that my wife works with that are roughly about that same age as this gentleman. They are a bit of both. Blissfully ignorant.
Okay.
But consistent victims. It's never their fault.
Right.
And they're owed because the law's written wrong.
Wow. Okay.
If they've been wronged, it doesn't matter how wrong they already are.
Yes.
They've been wrong.
I didn't tell her to jump into the knife in my hand. That's not my fault.
Okay, so there's a possibility that this Eric Thomas guy was dead serious about calling the cops because he got ripped off of $10 on a drug deal.
He's been wronged. He that's his $10.
The police owe him that someone needs to do something. I've been wrong.
Wow. And again, I wish everything in my life was that black and white sometimes, like one more bang on the head with a cinder block will bring me this bliss that I've never known in my life.
Well, like if he paid full price for the drugs that he had in his possession, then somebody else shouldn't be able to stiff him $10 for the drugs he was giving them. Right. That's not fair.
It's cutting into my margin. Right.
Exactly. Just trying to eke out a living here.
Doing the best I can.
Oh my God. I love this guy. And the picture is exactly what I saw in my head too. Like as I scrolled through, I'm like, Holy shit, this guy sounds.
I expected a feat.
Just dumber than a sack
I expected
of
some sort of
hammers.
face tattoo, but yeah.
Oh. But that's a lot of weed to have on you too. Like 11 baggies.
Right?
So he was out there for the long haul. That's a lot.
I'm all good. Personal use, sure. Do it. Oh, and by the way, real quick, congratulations, Ohio.
Yay!
The vote voting
right?
recreational use. Huzzah. Hopefully
we're legal.
They won't manage that, like mismanage that like California does, where they legalized recreational marijuana use and the black market exploded.
Well,
I could see that happening here.
Like Michigan, Michigan legalized recreational, and are they? I mean, I have friends that say, "Oh, we go up to Michigan and get our weed up there," and it's like it's so cheap because
the competition
supply can meet demand and everything is cool and
absolutely. So I mean, my brother has to drive up there for work all the time, and the way he describes it, like right on the border, like on the Michigan side of the Ohio-Michigan line, it looks like Tanger's Mall with all the stores, but they're all dispensaries. Like every building in this strip mall, it sells weed. So, and again, it's like as close as you can possibly get to the Ohio border.
Right.
And with the way our politicians work, that little strip mall will be well into business for the next several years. It's going to take us forever to get this up and running.
Yeah. But
well, and we've got a medicinal dispensary like right down the street from us, and like every Friday afternoon, there's like a line around the building, and so we're thinking they definitely are going to need to expand. They need to increase their
at least their waiting area, their lobby,
right?
Queue, and they have an indoor little rat maze.
Yeah.
Mike, you're muted again.
Yeah, Mike, you're muted.
How do you?
I swear to God, I am so sick of this cold.
Don't touch anything.
And the sad fact is, like, I've lived my entire work life in fucking Teams for the past 3 years, and I still have no idea. Like, there's just this frozen picture of me screaming in a meeting. They're like, Mike, we don't think your microphone's on. Like, you're goddamn right it's not. I wish I could blame the software, but no. It's the mic.
The
operational error.
Yes. Well, something that we started recently after last Christmas was we found out that one of our friends actually listens to our podcast, Emily.
Yeah.
But because she knows us and we're so interesting, she finds it hard to go to sleep after she listens to an episode because she's just enthralled by whatever we're rambling about at the time.
Right.
So something we started is, I made that part up. As we wind the show down, we take a moment to quiet things down so we can say goodnight to Emily so she can get to sleep with her little headphones in her little ears.
Little buds.
So Emily, if you're listening, it's sleepy time now.
The sun's going down.
Good.
Sun's going down.
Sweet dreams. Get good sleeps. Wake up refreshed and eager to take on a new day and be the bestest Emily you can be.
Well, I would listen to that YouTube channel all day.
Follow, like, subscribe.
Good night, chair. Good night, yellow wallpaper.
Good night.
Good night, creepy man peeking in the window.
Good night, vodka tonic.
I still think of the Waltons. Good night, John Boy. Good night, Grandma.
Yeah.
Good night, Waltons Mountain.
Good night, Waltons.
Yeah, so again, when you only have 3 listeners, we're trying to make sure that everybody is satisfied by the end of the show. Like, if somebody came up and said, like, you guys say too much, we would eliminate that. Well,
Yeah,
no,
no.
that's a bad example. We tell them to fuck off. We're happy with 2
Yeah.
people listening. But if they had a
Yeah, they're
reasonable request, then
very-
by all means, we would incorporate that.
Customer oriented.
We try to.
I appreciate
we are
that.
a
We
boutique
aim to please.
podcast.
Indeed. That tailored,
Yes, that
individualized
listening experience tailored to your needs.
In education, we call that differentiation.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, in
each
education,
student-
you'd probably call us speds and put us in a room by ourselves so we don't infect the regular
We'd have
kids.
to hold each other's belts when we
No,
walked in the line
we don't
down the hall,
use that term anymore.
so we don't get lost.
Get your duckies.
And your buddy.
No, we offer a service, and we have a couple satisfied customers out there that enjoy what we do. Mm-hmm. We
Of
just
course.
haven't tapped the big market yet.
We're a niche.
Well, it's niche.
Very,
Niche.
very niche, yes. But once we do, we're coming after fucking Rogan. That guy is just a menace to society, and we will topple
Yeah.
Take
him.
them on.
Absolutely.
He got nothing.
I can.
Hack.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You've got a better
Yeah.
message.
Yeah. But once we get the audience, yeah. So when I come for the king, we
Right.
won't miss. You heard it here first, Rogan.
No, he's got to find a truckload of DMT. And
Fucking
we're in.
mouth breather. Sorry, Emily. We'll be quiet now.
I'm so sorry. Go back to sleep. I was a pretty girl. Go to sleep. Dude, it is creepy as shit, isn't it?
Emily, I'm sorry.
Oh my god. Oh, that's so stupid.
Myself out there. Ugh.
That was kind of creepy though. And you can't see this because it's a radio show, but Tom's like leaning way into the microphone. So you could only see half his head as he's talking into it, and it's just scaring the shit out of me.
I'm in your ear.
Okay. Are you so glad you came on tonight?
So glad. So glad.
You're having the time of your life.
This is what we do. This is the highlight of our Saturdays in the month.
I love this. This is great.
Mm-hmm.
This was like a reunion that I didn't have to take a shower for.
Drive an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah. Absolutely. So we're here all the time. If you ever want to stop by, just say the word and we'll have you.
Yeah.
Sweet. Thanks.
Yeah, man. All our witty friends are welcome anytime they want.
Just the witty ones.
Aw, shucks.
Yep.
Just the witty ones. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But no, anybody's welcome anytime. But you, absolutely. We could have you on whenever you want. If you're ever bored, say, are you guys recording tonight?
Yep.
And we will make it happen.
True.
Aw, shucks. Thank you.
Can confirm.
Yeah.
I should sneak some subliminal grammar lessons in there and then make this required listening for my students.
You don't even have to make it subliminal.
That would be bad. I would get in trouble if this were required.
No,
listening
we'll just
for my
do an
students.
hour's worth of grammar lessons, and it would probably be at least 1.5 times as entertaining as us
We'll
just
do 30
rambling.
minutes on how I before E, except after C is wrong. We've been lied to this whole time. Oh,
What?
Oh, tune in, kids.
No.
Unless it's
Before
weird.
E is, it's a myth.
Or neighbor or way.
You've been lied to.
Except words with long A like neighbor and way.
And all the other words.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know shit from grammar. Sorry.
The answer may surprise you.
Tune in, listener. Learn and enjoy.
Okay, so on that note, Fran, thank you very much for coming.
Thank
you for
you so much for inviting me.
the 2 people that actually sat in the audience as beta testers tonight. Thank you very much. We love you.
Yay!
Eventually, we will have call-in, so those people just don't have to sit in silence. They can ask us questions as they go. So theoretically, we could have like a little advice column at the end, like a Dear Abby, but with idiots instead of Abbies.
Okay, so the advice is, don't do it, but hydrate and
you gotta
take more walks.
You got to be.
That's my advice. And yoga, always yoga. It's good, and you don't have to go to yoga. Just like watch a video or something. Stretching and breathing is always good.
You're not.
That's my advice.
You're not
hydrate,
wrong.
walk, yoga. Thank you. I think.
So you're probably right.
Yeah.
Out of the 3 of us, you can probably walk the furthest. So I'd listen to you over us anytime. Plus, you were drinking water this whole time. Tom?
No. I finished my glass of wine too.
Look at that cute little guy.
Full of vino.
Yeah.
Were you on the gin and juice again?
No, I'm doing the vodka cranberry.
Oh, look at you, man! Everybody's healthy. Yeah. Okay.
Vodka, cranberry, and wine are healthy.
Healthier
compared to Ohio River water.
Well, juice is, but no, it's Cincinnati. It's supporting our economy. Yeah. Thank you.
Of course, I'm here for you.
I appreciate that.
Okay, so we covered our stories. We thanked Fran. We put Emily to bed. Emily. I think we can call this one a wrap, right?
Let's wrap it.
Sweet.
So, as a sneak preview, we're finally, fingers crossed, going to have our crossover episode with the What the Fuck Did I Just Watch podcast next month. And we're going to cover shitty horror Christmas movies.
How many horror Christmas movies are there?
There are way more than you think. So it started with we were going to watch Werewolf Santa. And Jenny said it was so bad that it's not even funny bad. So we thought we would add in It's a Wonderful Knife to that. It's sort of like a double feature. So we're just going to sit here with 2 other people and talk about shitty horror Christmas movies next month.
Real quick on that, I just wanted to say real quick that I'm really happy that they finally got around to making a Thanksgiving horror movie. Have you seen this?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I saw the previews for that, yeah.
There will be no leftovers. Brilliant.
So there's a comedy horror there's a 2-parter called Thanksgiving about a killer turkey. And the first one it's campy fun. The second one is just god awful, terrible, weird, but it's out there. But yeah, that Thanksgiving looks like it could be fun.
Do you think we might have a case against them for copyright infringement for My God, They're Geese?
The fact that we never copyrighted that, yes, we would have a wonderful case.
Well, there's that.
I mean, not to pick nits, but you don't have a copyright case if you don't have copyright.
I don't know that you have to officially file for copyright in order to claim copyright. I think you can just say,
I made published. It doesn't have to be copyrighted, but it has to be publicized or published is the way to get around it.
Yeah.
Neither one of those things happened. Yeah. It was a script for a movie that was never filmed, so I don't think we have a case.
Burger King.
Which was also, the script was converted into a comic book script that was never drawn. So it's twofold failure. And the hat trick, last time Rockwell was on, we talked about doing a radio show of it.
Yeah.
So I took the script
That
and
hasn't happened either.
Yeah.
I broke it down into how many scenes it was and how many different actors we needed to do it. And it was like 58 scenes with like 15 or 16 different actors. Like, there's no way in hell this will ever, like, we barely can get once a month together for two of us. Could you imagine a table reading of
Like, yeah, it would have to be
on a weekly basis trying to film this?
it
That
have
would
to be
never
like
happen.
one-on-one with the actor.
But if each of you did like 6 different voices,
That's the way it would have to be.
Down on
Yeah.
maybe 3, 4, if it's a small part.
Right. Yeah. So, Fran, if you want to do like every female
I was gonna
character,
say, I do voice acting for you guys.
you would have to do all the Thomas girls and yourself, I think, because you were a character in it too.
Well, we could get the Thomas girl. Couldn't we get the Thomas girls to be the Thomas girls?
Could you?
Like,
I mean,
and playing themselves, the Thomases.
Yeah.
Could you really?
Something to chew on. I just saw it
Just
as
an idea.
a monumental amount of work. And while the possibility for fun was there, the ratio of work to fun was not in
kind of the
fun's
way we
favor.
looked at it was like, the
I hear you.
work eclipsed the fun. In product, I think would have been great.
It's like herding cats. Yeah, if the cats were both simultaneously somehow wet and on
sewn
fire.
together.
What are the odds of
like
that?
tied together at the hind leg. Just this frenzied,
like a rat king made of cats.
Yes. Like this frenzied ball of claws and teeth.
And go.
Make love to the camera.
Yeah, so that's never going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no.
anyway,
All
next month we're going to talk about shitty movies with some the other website, or I'm sorry, podcast that I'm on every once in a while, and we're going to introduce Tom to them and have an interesting crossover between the two different shows. So it should be a lot of fun.
So I just thought, so I teach AP English language and composition, which is all about argumentation and creating effective arguments. And some of my colleagues at my school that also teach AP Lang, they assign like a podcast assignment where their students have to follow a podcast and in each episode kind of trace like the line of reasoning within each, like what is the thesis of that episode, and then what is the line of reasoning that supports that thesis in each episode. And I was just thinking, like, so my daughter is in somebody else's AP Lang, not in mine because that would be weird, but she's in somebody else's AP Lang class, and so she's got this podcast assignment to do. And at first I thought, ooh, you should like use Bum's Corner as your podcast. And then I thought, I don't know that there's a solid line of reasoning that one could follow. This is a much more organic sort of
living heavy a stream of consciousness. So it's
absolutely. That's a great way to put it. Yeah, you leave your logic and feelings at the door before you walk in here.
And
but there may be someone somewhere who is using this podcast as their school assignment.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. There are plenty of lazy kids out there. Absolutely. So, yes, I think it's not a great example of having a thesis and following through with logical bullet points, but knock yourself. If you can find it, let me know, because I don't think there is. It is like we literally make all of this shit up as we go. If that was not painfully obvious.
I would not assume. This could not be an easy assignment to dissect the stream of logic that constitutes this show. Yeah, no, we don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just blah.
No,
That's what makes it so exciting.
You never know.
that's true. Absolutely.
You never know where it's going to wind up.
We have fallen off the rails so many times. I think we're a boat.
We're not? That reminds me, I got a great story for next time we do this version.
Okay, write it down because I had questions to ask you too that I forgot about. See, Fran, this is a terrible example.
Kids, this is not your homework assignment. If you're trying to skate through, do not try to figure this out.
Pens down.
Pens down.
Do not do drugs.
Don't smoke.
Good night, Emily.
Good night.
Good night, Emily.
So, everybody, we will see you next month. And Fran, again, thank you so much.
This was so much fun. Thank you for inviting me.
Anytime.
Yes.
All right, cats.